everyone. How are you today? Welcome back to Esther and Friends. And we're very excited today because Brienne is back.
Hi guys.
She has a little baby. We're all real. We're all moms. So don't mind if he's a little oohing or eyeing. He's so cute.
Yes.
So welcome back, Bri. Thank you so
you.
much for joining us today. Sasha is not here today. She has exams, so she's busy with that. But today we have with us Rhonda, Hostetter, and I am super excited to have you guys get to know her a little bit better. She is the founder of Inspirebusinesscommunity. She is a business dream coach, a mastermind facilitator, and a mom of 5. That is like a mouthful, you guys.
So, a cape.
Yes, I know. So, Rhonda, thank you so much for coming and wanting to do this with us. I'm so excited to get to know you a little bit better. And so, why don't you start with telling a little bit about yourself? Who is Rhonda, and how did you get to where you are today with all those things that I just said about you?
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Yes.
I'm really excited to do this with you. So, when you ask what I am, I feel like I'm just a visionary and a dreamer. So I believe that our dreams are possible.
Yes.
And so no matter what it is that's in our heart, like if we go after it, those things are supposed to happen.
Yes.
So I love to do that for myself, just figuring out what I want and what I see and then going after it, but also to help other people to figure out what they want and why they want it, and then help them uncover the steps to get there. So I feel like the way that I got to where I am right now and what I'm doing is just by saying yes.
Okay.
Again and again and again. Saying yes.
Wow. Saying
Whether
yes,
it's
like
scary,
showing up.
Yes.
Wow.
Whether it's scary, whether it doesn't make sense, whether it's hard. Instead of stopping and saying I can't do this, it's not it's not as easy as I thought it would be, or it doesn't look like what I thought it would be. Just saying yes, and then like as you say yes, more doors keep opening in front of you.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow, I love that. Just saying yes. It sounds so easy.
It's not easy.
But but it is. I thought about that the other day, like the Nike "Just Do It." That is like so profound, because if you really think about it, really that is the first step to everything. Because we have so many excuses why not to do it. So I love that. So what would you say is your definition of success, or what does it look like for you? Because in today's world, we're all striving or wanting to achieve some sort of success, whether it's in parenting or in your marriage or in business or career life. What is your definition of success?
So I feel like success is, to me, living in that sweet spot, that place. I kind of call it like the crosshairs, where you're right where you should be in the center, where you're getting to do what you want to do. It's fun for you and it's almost sort of easy, yet you get to get paid for it, and it brings you energy. So every time you're doing it, it's like, I can't even believe I get to do this. I'm getting paid for it, and I absolutely love it. Like it's the thing you would want to do for free, but yet people are willing to pay you for it because it's like of so much value.
Right.
So I feel like, to me, success is just getting to be more and more. It takes time to ease into that place.
Okay.
Like I think that we get to feel it and we're like, oh, that was really fun, or I really love that, or that gave me so much energy. But it's an easing into it, like realizing what was that, and it takes time to move into that, and then just to be able to flow from that place and maybe delegate so many things that are outside of that. So it's not this instant thing, but it's like success is a process and it takes time.
And having a coach has that played such a vital piece in that, in discovering yourself, because I have learned that there are so many blind spots, and reading books and learning through TV or shows or whatever it is, however you learn, or podcasts, but having someone to guide you in that. Did you experience that?
Yes,
being a
definitely.
coach yourself, and
definitely, because I feel like as I'm sitting working with someone and we're working on their thing, I'm like, this is exactly the same thing I'm working with my coach with. Like, I can help you see this, but my coach helps me see it, because when we're so close to what we're doing, it's hard for us to sometimes get perspective.
Yes.
And so I feel like it's so vital to have other people helping you to ask good questions and to say, you know, do you realize that you're up against the same thing that you were last month? Like, what is this? Let's figure out what it is so we can go beyond that.
Yeah.
So being coached is really important.
Yeah,
I think.
and the right questions, because finding what you love, sometimes those can be like pretty loaded questions, and you have to uncover some layers to really authentically find out, okay, what is it actually that wakes me up every morning or gives me that juice, you know, to really want to take life and run with it, and then getting paid for it, that is like that sweet spot. I love that, how you call that, the crosshairs. So
I think it's
that.
crazy too that so many times, even in coaching people, they misunderstand what their sweet spot is because either it's too easy or they've had so many attacks in that very place where people have come against the very things that are most important to them. And so it's tempting to think like that must not be right because that's where I've received the most attacks, you know, or people say like, well, it couldn't be that. It only took me half an hour to come up with that. Like, it's not good enough. And I'm like, no, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
If it came so easy,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's where you belong to be.
It didn't take much to dig out. It just was there underlying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get to do that as a coach.
Yeah. Where people
Wow.
think it was too much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
wow.
no, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's where we have to stick.
Yeah.
So,
Because fun a lot of times is, you know, goes together with the things we shouldn't be doing because we should work harder and it should be painful sometimes, which, you know, especially when you look at personalities, different personalities and how you're wired. I mean, I'm all like fun, but I used to think, you know, I'm like, I just don't take things serious, you know? And then you become that really serious person and you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my word, who am I? You know, it's like so foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are some good things.
Yes. So, question for you in this journey: what has surprised you? Like what that you've discovered about yourself that has just surprised you?
Yeah, so I think that I used to come up against things and think this is going to be, you know, when I finally came to the awareness of this is what I'm up against, feeling like it will be probably weeks or months until I actually can retrain my brain and get past this. And I think that I've been so surprised to realize that it can be seconds where I'm like, if I truly let myself be and say, like, let the essence of who I am totally fill my whole self. Like, how would I respond if I was totally being me? And realize that I actually get to stop and shift my mindset instantly, and it changes everything. So what I felt like I was up against, if I stop and say, what is this really about? You know, if you showed up as yourself and let yourself solve this, it could be easy, and it wouldn't have to take months. And so I think just being able to stop and do that has changed so much, even in our marriage and in our family.
Yeah.
Because being up against, I'm
Awesome.
an introvert. And so being on with people all the time, I think that's going into the next question, but being on with people all the time has been one of the hardest things that I've experienced. I did not picture how difficult it would be to be on all day long and then come home and be like, my family is the most important thing to me.
Right.
But now I'm exhausted. And now they're like, look at this, come read this, do that. And I'm like, oh my word, I can't. Like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And so being able to stop and say, okay, just let your day go. Let yourself show up fully, and like I'm able to retrain myself and say you have enough energy for the night yet, and show up. Where even a couple of weeks ago I would have been like, I have to be alone for an hour because I'm not going to be okay.
Yeah.
Not that that still never happens, but
Okay.
I feel like being able to shift
Yes.
much quicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been really good.
So maybe a little bit backtracking, because we mentioned the Inspire Business Community. Maybe you just want to talk a little bit about that and tell viewers that don't know you or don't know about that, what it is, and who connects to that, and what has been that aha moment that you realized this is actually something that you could turn into a business, and it's not just a hobby, you know, something you said, something you love. But when did you realize, hey, I'm on to something, you know, this is a need in the community?
Yeah. So it started out of my writing. I call it sleepy writing, where I was doing the book Write It Down, Make It Happen, where you get up 15 to 20 minutes early, write while you're still sleepy. And out of that, I kept writing about women coming down my basement steps. And I was kind of bored with what I was doing with my other business. I had been doing like words printed on bed sheets, and I didn't enjoy it. And I knew there was something new, but I didn't know what it was. And so when I kept writing about these women coming down my basement steps, I was like, what is this? It says write for 14 days, don't
Sleepy
leave it.
writing. I don't know about that because I'm not a morning person. I'm doing. That is funny though.
Yeah, so she says not to read it for 14 days and then go back and look over it. And it's like, how could I have written that every day and I didn't even know it? But I asked my husband for permission to try something, this live podcast I wanted to try in my basement.
Yes.
And invite a couple speakers. And so the first time we had it, we sat on throw pillows in my basement because we didn't have chairs for all these people. There was almost 30 women that came to the first one, and we absolutely loved it. It was like the energy in the room of all the business women talking about what they were doing and like getting so excited. None of us had ever experienced that before. And so we went home and we're like, wow. I was like, I think that's something. Like, I think we should do it again. And then I kept getting feedback from women saying, please do that again. I've never been in a room with business women like that where I loved it so much. So I kept doing that monthly. And then out of that, I wanted a place to talk about what I was learning, and just started Mastermind out of that, which Mastermind is like 4 to 6 business women. We sit around the table. Each person gets 20 to 30 minutes to talk about their business, the challenges they're up against. So we celebrate the wins people are having, and we brainstorm. If someone's up against something, you know, did you ever try this? This is something works for me. Do you know that person? I'll connect you. Just a really great kind of network of people. And then out of that, I had hired a business coach, and she was like, you would be really good at coaching. You come along with me, and we'll do this together for a while, and then you can take on your own clients. And so the more that I've started coaching, I absolutely love the coaching. That's my sweet spot. Getting to ask people questions and helping them to uncover things that is like, especially their sweet spot, where I'm like, that's it right there, what you're talking about. I absolutely love that. So I think I got off track. What was my question again?
About that community and how that started, and how you realized that it wasn't just a hobby because you had just started. It was a dream, and you started it by your sleepy writing, and where you realized. So you covered all of that, I think, you know, where there was just a need so much.
So I think when you said, how did I know that it was a real thing? Was I started doing it for free. The mastermind, which is sort of our thing we do now. It's kind of our central thing. I did that for free, and then my husband was like, you cannot cook dinner for these ladies and do this for them for free. You have to charge. So I charged $10. And then he's like, you're still paying these ladies to come. And so then the next year I bumped the price up, and then I think it was the third year, maybe, I doubled the price. Tripled it. I tripled the price. Sort of thinking like, no one is going to come to this at this price, because I was sort of still trying it. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I think 3 people didn't come, and everyone else was like, I have to have this in my life. I cannot live without this, and I have to pay it. And I was like, oh my word, this is a real thing. Like, this isn't going to go away. And so it was a really fun time, and also like a scary time. Like, oh my word, we have to grow and like figure out how to make this sustainable. So I think that was my like, whoa, this is a real thing.
Wow. And I didn't know if you wanted to add anything. Brianne works with
talk.
Rhonda, and she helps facilitate the mastermind. And the way I knew Rhonda is I went to some of her, she does some public events every quarter, right? And just all different women come of all sorts of life and careers, and they just share. Some speakers come, and it's just really, I always feel very full and just learn so much, because it's just so good to learn from each other and have that
Yeah.
community, you know.
Yes.
How have you experienced
Yes.
being a part of that? Were you there from the beginning?
I was gonna say that first pillow on the floor night in the basement
Awesome.
was so fun, and it was refreshing just to be amongst women that had a dream, and it wasn't competitive either. And I know it wasn't really official, like this is a networking event or this
Right.
is this kind of
Right,
event. It was
sure.
just come as you are. But it never even turned into that.
Yeah.
You know, as it
Yeah.
kept going, it never
Sure.
turned into, oh, here's my business
Yeah,
card,
business
and
card.
here's,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, we have the business cards
Yeah,
up
yeah.
for people just to see, but it's never been competitive. So I
Yeah.
think that's a really unique thing
Yeah.
that Inspire has.
Yeah.
And I know for me personally, I definitely thought I was in my sweet spot, and I wasn't.
Okay.
And so, I
Yes.
feel like I'm still figuring it out because I'm myself in a mastermind
Yeah.
as well as facilitating.
Yes.
And it's just fun to, just discover that a little bit more,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
each time, each year that goes by, you know, and in your new season of life, like now I'm a mom.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of rediscovering what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just nice because it's a safe place to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So going to the mommyhood and marriage, career, how do you juggle all of that? I'm sure anybody can relate. There's always so many pulls, so many expectations. Do you have a certain system or a daily thing you do that keeps you sane? How do you do that?
Yeah, so it is, I think we're tempted to think that we can do it all. You know, other people are
True.
delegating, I can do it all. And it just simply is not true. It is
Yeah.
impossible to do it all. It's possible to do both business and family and
Yes.
more,
Yes.
but it is not possible to do it all, and you have to delegate a lot. So I think,
Delegate, yeah.
first of all, my morning writing keeps me grounded. If I start getting away from that, I start to unravel. I have to write. It's like my saving grace. If I don't write,
Yes.
then I'm like not a one. So I get up early and write almost every single day. I try to write at least 2 pages because my first page is usually like complaining and grumping about this and that, and this doesn't make sense. And then when I hit my second page, it's like I just wrote down all my answers of like what I want, what's not working, what I should be doing.
Sure.
It's all there
Wow.
as soon as I get out all that other stuff.
And that's still the sleepy writing that you do,
It's
or
sort
it's just
of, I mean, I read it.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
no, I shouldn't say that. I'm not trying not to read it
Yes.
or not be aware
Yes.
of what I wrote.
Sure.
But it's not that just get up early and write when
Sure.
you're sleepy. It's not quite the same, but
yeah,
it's sort of.
yeah,
But then delegating. I feel like I've had to learn to delegate more than I want to. I've delegated things that I love because I simply cannot do everything.
okay,
And our
Wow.
family has stepped up. We homeschool our oldest 2 daughters. And so our daughter, our 15-year-old, started taking over planning the menus. So she plans what we're going to eat. She goes for groceries with my husband. He took on groceries because I simply couldn't do it anymore.
yeah,
So she plans the meals, they go for groceries, she puts the stuff away in the fridge. I often don't even know what's in there. I don't know what we're having.
Yes,
She cooks
yes,
the meals and I
yes.
come in for my day and then we have what we're having. And our 14-year-old does the laundry. So we have a dark basket and a light basket in the hallway. It's our job to get the stuff in there.
yeah,
If she has to go to people's rooms and collect stuff, that makes her really mad. She's like, if it's not in there, I'm not washing it.
Wow.
So she takes care of that. She washes it. She washes the baskets when they're filling up.
Yeah.
She washes them.
yeah,
We have a spot in our bedroom where we dump it out, and then everybody has to grab their stuff. It can pile up there a little bit sometimes, which bothers me because I like to sleep with everything perfect in my bedroom. But they do that. My husband has taken on the mowing. I absolutely love mowing, but I can't mow. I have
Okay.
too much. So I think it's tempting to think like I'll just work a little harder, you know,
Yeah.
instead of paying someone else to do it or instead of giving it
Yeah.
over to someone else. It's like
Yeah.
I'll just work a little harder. I'll just get up a little earlier. But then if you're not careful, you have no downtime where you're sitting down,
wow,
reading a book or
Yeah.
being quiet to meditate or just playing with your kids.
yeah,
And I think I
Yeah.
had to get over the guilty feeling of going outside to swim when I think like I should be working. I paid
Right.
somebody to clean my house.
right,
Oh, I forgot to say I have a cleaning lady. I just
Yeah.
bumped her out to
Okay,
every
yes.
week because it
Yes.
was like dirty the off week. I kept telling myself, I'll do it. And it was just being dirty. And so
Yeah. yeah,
so I bumped her up to every week. But then being willing to say, like, I paid her so that I could take time with my kids.
Yeah.
That's been huge.
And I think that comes back to the importance of finding really who you are and honing into that, whatever you call it, your calling or your destiny, and what it is you're supposed to do, because you're making an impact, and it's about influencing whoever you need to reach. So, and then you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. But as a child of a mom, or especially a mom, all your moms can relate, I'm sure. You always feel like you cannot be sitting on the couch. I mean, not before like 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Because even when your kids go to bed, you need to do the dishes. Everything needs to, I mean, you just always, and there is always something to do. It's hard to, so I love how you say that you just have to delegate and just feel free to do that. I'm sure that's a process.
It's such a process, and my coach keeps reminding me. She has a saying that she keeps saying to me, and I'm catching on to it. She says, if it's not bringing you connections or income, delegate it.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, I still have more things to delegate.
If it doesn't give you connections or income, wow.
But she keeps saying, reminding me as I delegate more things, if it's not getting done by who I delegate it to, especially maybe my husband or my kids, the tendency is to be like, oh, I'll just do it today. I'll just mow because it's going to rain. And, 2 weeks ago I mowed twice, and she was like, you have to let that go. Like, if it's getting longer, your husband said he would take care of it, and he'll take care of it. You have to let it go. And so I just look out the window, and I'm like, oh, it'll be okay. Because that's not something I decided to do anymore. I gave it away, and now it's okay. So it's a process, but it's good.
My goodness, I love it. So, let's see. Should we just ask some questions a little bit? So,
Let's go.
couple questions so that you could ask yourself. I wish people were more curious about blank.
So I think their sweet spot. I feel like so many people go through life and really never get to actually experience the fun of doing that thing that they love so much.
Sad.
And it's so sad.
Wow.
And I think a lot of people don't even have a dream. So a lot of older women who are like, in their 50s, 60s are like, I don't really know what I want to do. I don't know if I've ever spent a day in my life doing what I absolutely loved. And it makes me so sad. I feel like we were created with this place where we're fully on us, where God was like, this is the thing that you can offer that nobody does quite like you, and that is your thing. And so many people go through life doing everybody else's thing. I think that's why I'm so passionate about women's business, because I feel like in our businesses, even a lot of people show up in Mastermind with something that they think is their thing, and the more we coach, the thing is right here. Like, they started with this and it was a stepping stone, but it's so easy then to say, you know what, I actually want to be doing this, and this brings me so much joy. But if you never get around other people to ask you good questions, or maybe you're just going to work for someone else for the rest of your life, every day they're going to say, do this, be here at this time, show up and do that, and it's like, when will you ever get to do what you want to do? And so I really wish that more people actually stop to ask themselves what it is that they really want to do, or get help with figuring it out, instead of just going through life and maybe staying busy enough that you never actually have to stop and confront that.
I think statistics in America, at least, is 80% of people work in a job they don't actually love for life, you know? That is very sad.
There was another statistic I read too, that something about heart attacks, and I know this is like so depressing, but the percentage of heart attacks happen between like 8 and 9 o'clock Monday morning.
What in the world?
Why?
Really?
Because people have to go to work to a job that they don't want to be at. So that's
stress.
Wow. I mean, it's a physical manifestation, but
wow.
So it's amazing what you're doing.
That is
Helping
really
people
crazy.
find their sweet spot.
And I think it's also part of people don't feel like they're important enough to really take care of themselves.
That's what it is, right?
You know, especially as women, I think, because we always want to take care of everybody else, even if that's not necessarily your personality. As a mom, a wife, a friend, a sister, you always want to take care of other people,
Right.
and people do not take care of themselves, and they don't love themselves, and they don't go there first, and that's what we give out of, you know. And I think that's really, it's a problem.
It is a problem.
I think
It's
especially
really a
in
problem.
the American culture, like you were talking about a woman in her 50s, that's a different generation.
Right.
And just
Right.
now are we saying women, we do have dreams and we do have purpose other than cooking and cleaning and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think, we're turning a page
Yeah.
in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the fun part too about people staying in their sweet spot is probably that the cleaning lady absolutely loves what she's doing.
Yes.
So when I'm doing what I'm doing
They
and
know,
I'm paying
yeah.
her to do what she's doing, and she leaves every day being like, that was like so much fun. I
Wow.
actually like cleaning,
Wow.
but it's not my sweet spot. I don't love it that much.
Yeah.
But then it's like when we each stay in our sweet spot and delegate out and like let each other show up and do our thing, it's like beautiful. You know, everybody gets to show up and do what they love, and we all benefit each other.
Doesn't your daughter love cooking now?
She does
Like
love
more
cooking.
and more and baking.
She does. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
and
true.
I've watched them like just rise up and to the challenge. Not that they never complain or don't always, you know, some days they're like,
Right.
I feel like we need a laugh.
But-
What was that one time that your daughter, you posted on Instagram or something, that she said something about the milk, like, okay, people, you need to quit drinking so much milk or something?
Yes. We go through a ton of milk. And I
was
think
like,
there was
wow,
a
she's
sign
learning.
on the fridge that said, okay, people, something about,
It was
I
so
don't know.
funny.
yeah.
She,
Oh, my word.
She
But
puts
she
signs
really
up.
takes like responsibility, and that's her thing. That is really
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
And if the kids
That
are not
is really
taking
cool.
healthy stuff in their lunch, she's like, you did not eat your whatever I put in there today. I am not packing your lunch anymore. And I'm like, you have to pack their lunches, or
Lindsay.
at least let us know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I stopped. Now tomorrow you're in charge.
so
Yeah.
fun.
But yeah, she takes responsibility
Yeah.
of how we're
Teaching her
eating.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
be
That
healthy
is, and
and-
that's,
It's a
that
ripple
teaches
effect.
them a lot too.
yes, it does.
Exactly.
Wow.
Last night we picked up or 2 nights ago, she picked up at the grocery store some kind of beef brisket or something. This
Oh,
big,
wow.
huge, thick thing that she thought we were going to try. So she looked up how to cook it. And we were cooking it for hours and hours last night.
That's
Hours and hours. And I kept trying to cut it, and it's still pink. Then finally my husband looked it up and was like, you know what, it's still supposed to be pink.
Okay.
But I'm like, you know, when I first got married, I would like try to cook these 3 different things, and then these 2 were done, and this one wasn't done.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to learn how to do that kind of stuff. So
Right.
now she knows that.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Right.
you're
So
going to be an
nice.
amazing
Wow.
cook for your husband.
Yes.
You know how to run
Or
the house.
for, you
Yeah.
know, a restaurant someday. You never
Yeah.
know where it's going to go.
Whatever.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
So,
I love it.
Yeah,
That is really
it's
cool.
fun.
So, Rhonda, who has inspired you in your life?
So, first of all, I would say probably my grandma. She died a couple of years ago, but she was an amazing hostess. They lived about 3.5 hours away, so when we went there for the weekend, she was always serving us, always just making sure we had everything we needed, and just everyone talks about just what a hostess she was. And so I feel like she was one of the people that really inspires me a lot. She always asked the best questions. You could just sit for hours with her, and she would just ask these questions that would make you feel like in the deepest part of you, like she cares about like the deepest places in me. I'm also inspired by my friend Angel. I feel like she coached me for a while, and I feel like she has just done incredible personal growth and discipline, just discipline after discipline. That's like got her to where she is today and what she's doing. So that's inspiring to me. My friend Shar has been just growing her team, growing herself, and taking big risks to get to where she is. So that's inspiring to me. And I also have a friend, Nico Everett, who is out in California, who's like leading her tribe and just doing cool stuff with women. So those are some of the people. There's so many more, but those are some of the ones that come to my mind.
Okay. Yeah. And what would be something you would tell your younger self? Not that we're all super old at this table, but just going through life and knowing what you know today, looking back, what would you tell her?
So I think I'm still sort of learning this right now, but I think that it's so tempting in life, especially for myself, because I'm such a visionary and I see the next thing right out here.
Okay.
So just thinking if we could just get through these things and if we just get everything right, then we'll be right here. And thinking that that somehow is a destination, you know? even as our kids were little, I feel like I was always thinking like, well, when they at least are all potty trained, or when, you know, whatever.
I can
Always
relate
thinking
to
ahead
that,
to the next thing.
Yes.
And realizing like, I would just want to tell her life is a process and you're never gonna arrive. It's messy. I think I just kept thinking like, if I could just take care of this, or if I just felt that, or, you know, it's like, it's not like that. Life is a journey and it's messy. And everyone's messy. Everyone behind their business is messy. We see the outside success, and I think Instagram makes it even worse than it used to be, with just getting a glimpse of like the beauty of people's lives, and then scrolling even. I remember on Mother's Day, I was having a great Mother's Day, and I was just really loving our kids, and then I was like taking a nap, and I went on Instagram, and then it's like, oh, this person got breakfast in bed, and she had whatever, and after that I started thinking like, my kids don't even love me. You know? And then I'm like, oh my word, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
You have no idea. That's
Yes.
the only little part they showed today. And so it's like so tempting to think that if you could just do this next thing, you would arrive. And it's just not like that. So I think I would tell her to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process.
Enjoy the journey. I love that.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
love that too.
So, is there any books you've read so far that you really love? You can mention one, you can mention more. That one of your favorites.
Yeah, I was working on this last night, and my boys walked through the kitchen, and they're like, "Books are like friends." I was like, "Yeah, I feel like my books are like friends. Like I love books, and so it's so hard to say I like this one."
Yeah, sure.
But the book "Write It Down, Make It Happen," which I mentioned before, was kind of the one that started me on this whole journey. Is one of my favorite books, just because it's impacted me in such a big way. So
and
that
who's the
book
author
is really,
of that one?
I think it's Henriette something.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I forget.
Forget her name.
But yeah, it's called "Write It Down, Make It Happen." I'm also reading The Big Leap, which I love, talking about our mindsets and how we limit ourselves. So we're coming up against only something that we've told ourselves, you probably can't do this, or maybe our mom said, you know, you're probably better not doing that, or we don't do that, anything like that. And so just uncovering, and he talks about a lot of people are willing to live most of their life in their zone of competence or their zone of excellence, when we actually have a zone of genius, which I feel like is our sweet spot.
Yes.
And it takes so much
Wow.
just self-awareness and growth to get yourself beyond those, because you're feeling so good in your zone of excellence. So many things are right. But if you could just jump beyond that into your zone of genius, that's where like most of the people that we absolutely admire and are crushing it, they're in that.
Wow.
So just uncovering what it is that's holding you back. So that's been really fun. I love that book.
What was that called again?
The Big Leap.
The Big Leap.
The Big Leap.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think it's
I
by
like
Gay
the sound
Hendricks.
of that book.
I think that's his name.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Me either.
And do you have a favorite quote? You're already quoting a little bit.
I
many
love
quotes.
I love hearing quotes.
I know.
And
I
just
love
what
quotes.
people's favorite quotes are.
Yeah. So I feel like for me, the quote that I love has been my favorite quote for years, and I have this like love-hate relationship with it. It start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Okay.
And I feel like because I'm such a visionary, I can see so far out ahead, and I can actually smell it, I can taste it, I can visualize it as if I was right there already. I know what it's supposed to look like. And so it's so hard to take what's right here and say, I'm starting with this. Because it doesn't look like what you thought it would. It's much harder than you thought it would be. And so I feel like that quote always brings me back to the present. Like, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and you'll never jump from this place here to that you see out there unless you're willing to take the little steps and use what you have to grow it, to like explore the concept, get people excited about it, and that will continue to open doors for you. But you can't jump from here to there. And so starting with what I have and doing what I can is always so messy. I think people, it's so tempting to look at someone doing something and think, oh, that must be amazing. Like, you just have no idea what's going on in each person's life and how many things they're doing that they get up every day and are like, this does not look at all like what I thought it would.
Wow.
But you just do the next thing, and you keep showing up and doing the next thing, and before you know it, it keeps opening into more things. But I think then when you get to the thing that you looked ahead and thought, that would be amazing, you realize this is only the beginning. Like, it's so much more work than you thought it would be.
Wow.
But it's like, there's those moments and those parts of the process where you're in your sweet spot and you're doing what you love, and that are so right that you know it's right.
Yeah.
If that makes
Wow.
sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Wow, I don't know about you, but I am learning a lot. There was a lot of golden nuggets in this conversation. So go back and listen again if you need to. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself and your life and your journey. I'm sure it's gonna speak to a lot of people, and a lot of people can relate. So thank you so much for doing that, Rhonda. And we have talked about what she does in her business. If you want to go check her out, you can go to her website, which is inspirebusinesscommunity.com, or on Instagram, same thing, Inspire Business Community. You can find there. And for the local women, if you are interested at all in having more information about Mastermind, joining it, or the events that she hosts and organizes, you can go and find that information on the website as well. And of course, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Share it with your girlfriends. Have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and enjoy yourself. And until next time, see you.
Bye.